All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever, hopefully not the last, First State Hoops Report bracket show. The DIAA released their seedings for the boys, girls, and unified tournaments today, and we are privileged to have quite a few teams from the boys and girls side on. First, we have Archmere's girls who are coming in at the 6th seed. They'll get the winner of Woodbridge Seaford in the second round. We have head coach Dan Pisani, captains Brent Bastian Pastor, Lydia Scarpassi, and Sarah Denning. Archmere, welcome to the chat. Thank y'all for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right, now this is one of those years that will probably go down as one of the better years in the history of the program. 16 wins, first Diamond State Conference championship in 8 years. Just talk about how this season has gone for y'all up to date, and what are you looking forward to the most about the state tournament?
I just think it's been an amazing kind of ride that we've had that's very much far from over. I think this team, I think we all can agree, has been very much a family and has been supporting each other through some very high-stress moments, some very high-stress games. And I think just the bond that we've shared over the season that has so much more to come is been really, really important and something that's really big for us going into this week.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Next week.
Yeah. Oh, I would say the same thing. I think that the bond that we have just really helps us. Like, we're so used to the close games, but none of us ever worry because we're all just so good at supporting each other, and we know no matter the score that we're just going to battle it out until the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think this team is very supportive towards each other, and we're super positive, and we're just our energy on and off the court is just really great towards each other, and it helps with the good and the bad.
All right, Coach, you can jump in.
Yeah, I think these girls cover it pretty well. This is really it's a unit. It's 13 kids who just really work hard together. Our players who play a lot, our players don't play a lot. Everyone gives great effort every practice, and it's been a special. We always tell the girls how much fun as coaches we have coming to practice every day. It's been really special for us as coaches to watch these girls grow and work with them. And we tell them all the time they're a special group. And when you have good people on your team, it makes a big difference.
We'll get you out of here on this note. It's going to obviously be easier for y'all to be able to have a first round game. Well, have the first round off, actually. Then you get to see who you're playing. Do you have a preference, whether it's Woodbridge or Seaford? I mean, obviously, y'all played Seaford in the first round last year. They didn't have all of their players, but it seems like Woodbridge might have the upper hand in that one. Do you guys have a preference on who you like to play, or it doesn't matter at this point?
I think we're going to prepare for both, and the girls know. These girls really prep hard for opponents, and we're going to prepare for both teams as well. And both these teams do good things, and we're already watched a lot of Woodbridge film and see what they do, and we're going to do the same with Seaford. And whoever comes out of that game, that's going to be a battle, and we know that they're going to drive up here, and they're not going to waste that trip to come up here. They're going to come up here and give us everything they got. So regardless of who it is, I know it's going to be a battle on Friday night.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I'd say it's not so much about the opponent as it is about us. So what we're going to do is really focus on our team, and if we bring our best game, we can compete and hopefully beat whoever we play.
Yeah. Said it well, Lydia.
Yeah, good job, Lynn.
Yeah, that'll work. All right, Archmere girls basketball team, 16-4, Diamond State champions, 6th seed in the girls seedings. Thank y'all for joining us. Greatly appreciate your time, and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you for
having us.
All right, y'all have a good one. All right, and next up on the queue, we have Sal's head coach Taylor Trevisan, Salesianum 13-7, the 5th seed in the tournament. They will have a first round bye. They will get the winner of Polytech, and who's Poly playing again?
I think we got the 4 seed, and we play Friends in Delcastle.
The winner of Friends in Delcastle at the 4th seed. Coach, thank you for joining us. Greatly appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
When we talked after the Howard game last week, actually, you said that you felt like this team was in a good place, going into the tournament. Obviously, winning 8 of your last 9 coming into the tournament helps. And having that first round bye, just how important is it for your guys to be able to just sit down a little bit and just watch and see who you're going to play first, and have them coming into your house in a couple of days?
Yeah, I think, the home game's always nice. I actually think it's a blessing and a curse, the long wait, being that we haven't played since Friday, and we won't play again, obviously till Thursday. So it's good to get healthy and reset, but it can be tough to keep the guys, focused and locked in for that long. But I think the coaching staff's done a good job. Guys are practicing right now, trying to get after it. I think they're a little energized now that it's official. So yeah.
In this tournament, it looks like there could be 10 or 12 teams. There's obviously yourself, Middletown, Tower Hill, who won the thing last year. There's a lot of depth in this tournament that we probably haven't seen in quite some time. Like, what's the message that you relay to your guys going into the tournament that, any given night, it could be someone else's night and it just may not be your night. So you have to be prepared at all times.
There might be more than 10 to 12. I think we got a dose of reality a few times during the year. We took losses to a team didn't even make the tournament in St. E's. William Penn was a tough team who's below us. So, and I'm looking at the bracket and I see, some teams in the 12, 13, 14, 15s, who I've seen play and know they have some talent. So, for our guys, I think our experience and having taken some lumps throughout the year is all the reminder they need. And if they need a reminder, I'll be glad to show them the film at some point. So
lastly, get you out of here on this note, because I know you're in the middle of practice right now. What do you like the most? I mean, when we talked in the preseason, you said that growing the game was the most important thing. And, getting these kids the exposure and having, their faces seen so they don't have to leave home. Just how do you feel this tournament is representative of that? Because there's a lot of talent up and down the state that's going to be playing over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we said in the beginning of the year, a couple guys sitting right here, Coach Ali does a great job of doing what we've talked about, just getting guys exposure, playing, outside the state a little bit, trying to up the profile of our in-state games. I think the parity that you talked about, as far as there being so many teams that are a threat, shows the growth. Coach Ali says all the time, it's about having committed coaches who are willing to do the things that it takes to grow the game, especially in Delaware. It's got its challenges, but if we have a lot of good coaches now in the state that are doing what they need to do to help the game, help their players. And I think the tournament will show that with the depth. And, I do think the platform of UD and the Bob and the production that is really good and always has been. So I think, everything's heading in the right direction. And again, shout out to Coach Ali up there for leading the way as well.
Taylor Trevisan, head coach of Sallies and 13-7, number 4 seed. Coach, thanks for your time. We greatly appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Have a good one. All right. And next up, the gentleman that Coach Trevisan graciously alluded to, number 1 seed Middletown, Flight A champions, will be playing Howard for the Blue Hen Conference Championship tomorrow at St. Mark's at 1:30. If you haven't, 1 p.m., excuse me. If you haven't gotten your tickets, you might be SOL. Aziz Ali, Coach Ali, thanks for coming on. Greatly appreciate you.
What's up, Chris? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. And the mission of this team is not yet complete, obviously, but 17-2, 3 straight Flight A championships, got a chance for a 2nd straight Blue Hen Conference Championship. We didn't get to play the Blue Hen Conference Championship in 2021 because of the pandemic. Just what are you looking forward to the most about this run with this particular group that you have?
Just finishing it out. I think this group that I got, when a couple of them came here, and we keep receipts, and just hearing the naysayers about what this person can't do and what that person can't do, just seeing them being able to kind of be receptive to coaching and put it all together, and being able, this success that they had so far, and seeing those guys have it kind of brings joy to me. But I just want to see this group just finish it out.
And as I asked Coach Trevisan, it seems like there's a lot of depth in this tournament. There's Sallies you have to watch out for. There's Howard, of course, that you'll probably see on Saturday, and may see again at some point in the tournament. And we talked about it on preseason when you mentioned the Dover loss in the second round last year. Just how do you impress upon your guys that, yes, you're the number 1 seed, you're probably the favorite in this tournament, but nothing is guaranteed to you?
I think just kind of experience and kind of what we've been through. Last year we was the AFC home game, and Dover came in here and smacked us around pretty good. So you kind of just remind them of if you're not prepared to play and ready to go, there's no tomorrow. I have a group of seniors that's led this group and led this team, and if they're not prepared, then the season is over with. But we just try to just lean off our past experiences and just know when we prepare the way we're supposed to prepare, the game has won our way. When we didn't prepare, the game didn't go our way.
And I'll get you out of here on this note, as I alluded to earlier with Coach Trevison, is that this state has a lot of talent and is starting to stay home a lot more. Just how important do you feel as a coach and someone who, has trained guys and gals and, know a lot of these kids, just getting them to see that they can stay in Delaware and still, be seen by the people that they want to be seen by? Just how important is it that this tournament is going to be reflective of the talent that Delaware has?
Oh, I think it's very important. I think it's very important. And like Coach T said before he left, we as coaches, we just got to keep moving that needle, keep thinking outside the box, and then just being committed. And when you as a coach go to play in something, tell another coach, hey, look, I played in this. They need more teams. Reach out, get the team up there. Or if you as a coach, you played against a team, you've seen some other players, and you like, hey, this guy may have a chance to play. While you talking to that coach, hey, by the way, such and such at this school can play as well. Here's the coach number. Reach out to him. I think we got to keep the message of the kids is the most important thing. And if we can keep that message, I think we'll continue to grow, because not only it challenges us to be better coaches, but it also challenges us to reach out and do more to get our kids more notoriety.
Head coach Aziz Ali of the Middletown Cavaliers, #1 seed in the boys tournament, 17-2, Flight A champs, going for a second straight Blue Hen Conference Championship against Howard tomorrow at St. Mark's. Coach Ali, thank you for your time.
Appreciate that.
All right, take it easy. And we got one more coach in the queue. If you're not familiar, there are 3 girls teams that are entering the tournament on really good streaks. Cape Henlopen's won 18 straight. Sanford has won 8 of their last 9, and there's another girls team that has won 8 of their last 9. And this gentleman is on with us now. Howard Wildcats, Lady Wildcats head coach Curtis Clack. Coach Clack, thanks for coming on.
What's going on, Chris? How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having us on. And obviously, your girls, up until the St. E's game on Tuesday, were on a hot streak. 8 straight wins. You still finished as runner-up. UNAI were the only 2 above 500 teams in Flight B. And after a year's absence, your girls are back in the tournament. Just how exciting is it to have this group, experience the tournament up close?
This is going to be a very fun group for me, because this group is probably one of my hardest working group as a whole. There is no one star on this team. They all share in all of the progress and all the success that the team is having.
When you're going down to Polytech, have you had a chance to do any advanced scouting, or do you know anything about Polytech coming down? Obviously, the team that went from 5-15 a year ago and 15-5 this year has to be pretty good. Like, what are your early impressions about that trip?
Well, Polytech is kind of funny, because during the summer league that we was a part of this past summer, we played against Polytech. We ended up setting up a scrimmage with Polytech early in the year. So, we have a little familiarity with them. Of course, they have gotten better as the years gone along, but I would like to say so have we. So I think it's going to be a very good game. Of course, we don't never like to take that ride down state, but
right.
If that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. Unfortunately, we don't have a home game, but we're gonna be road warriors. We're gonna be road warriors. We're gonna come out and we're gonna give Polytech everything that we got. They're calling us scrappy. We're gonna let them know that we're just not just scrappy. That we are one team that can be reckoned with, because like I said, we don't have no one star. All of my girls, they share in the load. They work hard. They love each other. They play for each other, and I can't ask for nothing more.
That was going to be my next question, because obviously when we spoke, I can't remember. It was November when we met at when we talked the the Lady Wildcats reunion of, if you're not familiar, 1979 right. Howard Wildcat girls were the first in school history to win Flight B. They had their reunion. Coach mm-hmm. Clack and his band played, and got to talk to him about what it was like to be able to have his players, a couple of his players that were there, see the history. And it's obvious that Howard girls basketball has kind of sort of been under the radar, but has been good for a very long time. Just how exciting is it for you to be able to carry that tradition of what those teams in the 70s and 80s were able to accomplish now into the 21st century?
Well, to be a part of that event was great. It was great to see. It was great to hear a lot of the stories. Is like you said, couple of my players were there. They still share some of those stories, and they understand what the rich history is, and they have definitely relayed that message to the rest of the team, and we're just following suit. There is a rich history at Howard. I'm very proud to be a part of that history, and we're just going to continue to keep making our own history as now.
Head coach Curtis Clack of the 14-6 Howard Lady Wildcats. Coach Clack, thanks for your time and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you.
All right now. And I think Gary Lumpkin's supposed to be joining us. I hope he got the link. I may have to send it again there. Let me go ahead and send that now. See, this is what happens when you're a one-person shop. You have to do everything yourself. So, but while we're waiting for another coach to come through, I can give you guys the rundown of the brackets. We'll start with the girls. Number 24, Tower Hill, who finished the season 12-8, is going to take a trip down to Smyrna, who finished 14-6. They will face the Flight B champion AI DuPont Tigers, who went through the regular season 19-1. Their only loss was to Tatnall. That game will be at AI on Friday, March 3rd. 23rd seed, Charter School of Wilmington will face Diamond State Conference rival, 10th seed, Delaware Military Academy. DMA and CSW played last week. Maya Hill, sophomore guard, made 2 free throws after the buzzer sounded to give DMA a 34-33 win. So obviously Charter's looking for revenge in that matchup. That should be a fun one. The winner of that will take on the Flight A champion Appoquinimink Jaguars with a record of 16-4. Appo and AI will play in the girls' Blue Hen Conference Championship. We talked about the boys' Blue Hen Championship with Coach Ali from Middletown. Middletown's going to play Howard for the boys' Flight Blue Hen title. AI Appo girls. That is going to be a game where if you don't have quick reflexes, you may miss out on something because both of those teams are super quick, and that'll be a fun tournament preview. We'll be there tomorrow, so if you see me, you see this face at St. Mark's tomorrow, don't be afraid to say hello. I'm very friendly, despite what I said on Twitter about DIAA earlier. Most times. Number 22, Seaford will face number 11, Woodbridge in the first round as well. That they will get the winner. The winner of that, of course, will meet the team that we have already talked to. 6-seeded Archmere, headed up by Dan Pisani. Archmere's had a tremendous season, 16-4, first Diamond State title in 8 years. That is a senior-heavy group who knows how to play and play together. Woodbridge has a ton of talent, but then again, so does Seaford, because either way, that should be a very intriguing second-round game. Number 21, Middletown will face number 12, Delmarva Christian. The winner of that will get number 5, Caravel. Caravel, of course, has had quite the interesting last couple of weeks. They've played Sanford really close, and then they had a flu bug that hamstrung them against Ursuline, but seems like everybody on Caravel is healthy and ready to go. First-year head coach Larry Banks. And Coach Banks and I actually know each other very well because when I was working as a public information officer at Delaware Technical and Community College many moons ago, Coach Banks was the men's coach over there. So Coach Banks taking over for Kristen Caldwell, they haven't missed much of a beat. So that will be your 5-12 matchup or 5-21. Middletown does have a chance because Sanai Savage, one of the top players in the state that people don't really know about because, well, she plays in Middletown, but she's very talented. I mean, she's going to be playing at Division II Shawan next year, and Shawan plays an ultra-competitive schedule down there in the North Carolina region. So that's going to be a good game, Middletown, Delmarva Christian. Number 20, Howard, as we just discussed with Coach Curtis Clack, they'll be taking a trip down to Woodside to play number 13, Poly Tech, who went from 5-15 in 2022 to 15-5 in 2023. They are the Henlopen North runner-up to Cape Henlopen, and the winner of that will get number 4 Tatnall, who, of course, crashed the Final Four party for the first time in school history last year. They will be headed up by Emma Kirby, who scored her 1,000th point earlier this year. Guards Cherish Bryant, Kelly Clayton, Bree Gauthier, and Emma Watson, And did I say Kelly Clayton already? Yeah, but I just did. Okay, so Tatnall starting 5 is pretty strong, but Polytech might be able to go a little deeper, and maybe Howard can go a little deeper. So that should be an interesting second-round matchup as well. Number 19, Dover. Won 9 games, but had the most bonus points of anyone on the bracket, which makes them the number 19. They will face number 14 St. Mark's, coming in with a record of 13-7, and the winner of that will get number 3 Cape Henlopen. Cape Henlopen has the longest winning streak in the state, girls or boys. They've won 18 straight after losing their first 2. They will play Woodbridge tomorrow afternoon at Dover High for the Henlopen Conference Championship game. Again, if you've seen me on Holding Court, which is our YouTube vlog show, I'm not very happy that someone decided that the Henlopen North should be on, the Henlopen Championship game should be the same day as the Blue Hen game, because obviously I would be getting in my car right after this, shooting on down to Dover and watching the Henlopen Championship games tonight, but I can't do that. So I'm just gonna have to pick the Blue Hen for proximity's sake. But Woodbridge Cape tomorrow should be very good. Number 18, Early College High School of Dover. Of course, that school is under the Delaware State umbrella. If you're not familiar, it's like a charter school founded by Delaware State. And the kids that go to ECHS, they get college credit. That's very interesting. But yes, the girls team was 17-3. They were the Henlopen South runner-up to Woodbridge. They will play number 15, St. Elizabeth, coming in with a record of 10-10. St. E's, once again, had the bonus points because obviously they played Cape. They haven't played Cape. They played Woodbridge. They've played St. Mark's. They've played Ursuline a couple of times. They've seen Caravel. So that is going to be an interesting first-round game because St. E's is coming in short-handed. But Erica Huggins, who's probably played herself onto first-team All-State, is having a phenomenal year. So Early College will definitely have to be mindful of her. The winner of that game will get number 2 Ursuline, who comes in with a record of 19-1. Of course, Ursuline is headed up by the talented 8th grade duo of Gigi Banks and Tay the Glove Brown. And that's a team that also has quite a few good role players. You know, you have seniors like Hannah Kelly, young players like Abby Grillo. Coach John Noonan, one of the more respected coaches in the state. He gets the most out of his girls, so I don't think they're going to take either of these teams lightly, no matter which one they play. And our last first-round matchup on the girls' side, number 17 Red Lion, making their 3rd straight tournament appearance, will take the trip to number 16 St. George's, the Flight A runner-up. That game is one game that I feel like can go either way because both teams have one girl that can score and a few others that can get buckets at timely times. So the winner of that will get number 1 Sanford, who finished the regular season with a record of 16-3 and another independent conference championship. So that settles the girls' bracket. I'm not going to do previews now because it's pointless, especially since I'm going to do a special edition of Holding Court on Sunday. I mean, every edition of Holding Court has been on Sunday so far. So, I mean, hey, you'll catch it. It's good that football season is ended because I like to, start these episodes a little earlier than usual because I know football was in the way last year, but in the last couple of weeks. But this year I may be able to push Holding Court back to mid-afternoon. So don't expect Holding Court at 9 a.m. on Sunday, but probably something like 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, boys bracket. Number 9, Caravel, who also ended the regular season pretty doggone hot. They will play number 24, Cape Henlopen. Caravel has a big 3 and possibly a big 4 that can get you a bucket whenever you need it. Senior John Clemens, juniors Dom White and Miles White, and first-year guard Trevor Webster. Those 4 can get 60 points fairly easily. And if they're playing defense, that's going to be hard for Cape to stop. But Cape has a lot of talented players as well. Drew Zimmerman, Ty Tolson, coached by Steve Ray, one of the more animated coaches, we'll say, in the state of Delaware. One of my favorites to watch. Really good guy, too. So that's going to be an interesting first-round matchup. Number 13 – no, wait. Let me go in order. Number 10, St. George's versus number 23, Hodson. Of course, these two know each other very well. They're Flight A opponents. 7 of Flight A's 8 teams made the state tournament. That has to be a record. Has to be a record because I can't remember another time that many teams from one division got in the state tournament. Newark, as Coach Ali pointed out, were pretty doggone close as well. So that should be an interesting first-round matchup. The winner of that will play number 7, William Penn. So basically that whole row is Flight A or bust. Penn, of course, has had a couple of big wins the last couple of days, defeated last couple of weeks of regular season, defeated Henlopen North champion Polytech, and then, of course, took down an undermanned Apo team, which I was on the radio call with Sean Green of WDL. Want to thank Sean once again for having me on for the tournament, for the regular season. Greatly appreciate it. We may do a tournament game together. It really depends on how the schedule shakes out. where are we at? Number 11. Number 11, Laurel versus number 22, Woodbridge. Another conference matchup from the regular season, Henlopen South matchup. The winner of that will play defending state champion number 6, Tower Hill, of course, led by the twins, Dean and Dylan Shepard, and first-year guard Kevin Coleman. Tower doesn't need to toot their horn pretty much. I mean, they know they're good. So, and they're the defending state champs until someone beats them. So, Laurel, that's a team that I like. If anybody's going to beat Tower Hill in this setting, it could be Laurel because they have Dontarius Jones, they have Corey Mumford, they have Kylie's Wilson. That big three, especially Wilson, he's like the bulldog of the team because Laurel was the Bulldogs. And I promise I didn't, I promise that just came off the top of the head. But yeah, Wilson as their point guard, is really the engine of that team. But Jones is a scorer and Mumford is the big guy who can control things in the paint. That might be a tough matchup for Tower Hill. But of course, Laurel has to get by Woodbridge first. And of course, nothing is given in the state tournament. Number 12, Polytech the Henlopen North champs, as we mentioned before, will face number 21, Tatnall. And Tatnall had quite the interesting road to the state tournament. They actually did themselves some favors because they had wins over Odessa, who was probably the last team out. And that was likely the final tiebreaker that pushed everything askew because the numbers that I had Tatnall on the 24. And I had Tatnall on the 24. I had Del Castle 23. Woodbridge 22, which held out. And who did I have at 21? I think I had Lake at 21. Yeah, we'll get more into that in a second. But yeah, Polytech is led by Darrell Little, Kyle Gambrick, Xavier Brewington, Brett Shelton Hoskins. That's a team that proved itself when they needed to against in-state opponents. Tatnall, young team, a lot of talent, couple senior leaders, Markel Fitzgerald, Isaiah Sales, coached by Doug Nicholas. They'll be in the hunt in that game. That game is not a give-me for Poly. But Poly should advance or could advance, I'll say, because we don't want to give anybody, bulletin board motivation. We've been guilty of that in the past. They will face number 5 Aberquinimink, who loses a key member of their team for different reasons, senior guard Hodge Bell, but they still have Christian Barksdale, Eric Mathang, Riley Busby. That's going to be a fun second round matchup. That may be one we have to take the trip for. Number 13 Friends finished regular season 13-5. Facing a Del Castle team who looked dead in the water 3 weeks ago, but won 5 of their last 7 to crash the party at 9-11. And the winner of that will get, of course, as we talked to before, Coach Taylor Trevison and the number 4 Sal's. Sal's, of course, comes into this tournament with a lot of talent and a lot to prove because people are still reminding them of the unfortunate events of the state tournament, of the state championship game a year ago. And obviously, that team has played with a chip on its shoulder all season long. And I don't expect that chip to shrink in size as the state tournament progresses. That should be a second round matchup that probably favors the Sal's. Number 15, Dover. Did I skip 14? Yes, I skipped 14. Sorry. Number 14, Indian River, 15-5. Henlopen South co-runner-up will face another Henlopen South team, number 19, Lake Forest, who comes in with a record of 12-8. The IR Lake games, by looking at the scores, look pretty close, but maybe the in-person thing tells a different tale. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. It's hard to beat a team twice in the same season, honestly, but 3 times, that's what Indian River will be going for. And their reward, should they do it, the number 3 Flight B champion Howard Wildcats, who come in with a record of 14-4, led by head coach Rasan Matthews Sr. Of course, his son, RJ Matthews, starting point guard on the team. You have the Richards Powell twins, Aiden and Xavier. I forgot their last names for a second. I'm glad I remembered really quickly. Forward Marcus Johnson, guard Jameer DeShields. And on the bench, coming off the bench, you have Tyler Scruggs, Corey Herring, Nick Besa. Howard has some depth, but they've struggled finding their shot the last couple of games. Of course, losing against Sallies. You saw that game on First State Hoops Report. And a really tough regular season finale against Del Castle. That game was in doubt probably up until the last 3 or 4 minutes. So Howard is not going to come into this tournament taking anyone lightly. The Howard Tower quarterfinal has the chance to be something special if we get there. Because Laurel could beat Tower, Lake or Indian River could beat Howard, and it could just be a very interesting. The first round is going to be interesting, and then the second round is going to be even more interesting. Very much looking forward to it. Number 15, Dover. Of course, with 1,000-point scorer Jaheim Harrell will face number 18, Archmere, the Diamond State Conference runner-up. That game is definitely a contrast of styles. Dover has a lot of talent that can get you to the promised land if everything's working in tandem. But Archmere plays a brand of basketball that might frustrate a team like Dover, because Dover's a team athletically that can get up and down the floor and get 60, 70 points pretty easily. Archmere probably wants to keep this game in the 40s or 50s and 30s if they can manage it. So if Dover's probably seen some of Archmere, but a little more advanced scouting won't hurt. But obviously that game tips off on Tuesday, so I don't know how much, scouting you can do in the meantime, but that should be an interesting first round matchup. The winner of that matchup will get number 2 Seaford. That's what I meant to say. Seaford, of course, 19-1. Their only loss in state, of course, was to Middletown. And they just wrapped up the Henlopen South Conference Championship for the 3rd straight year. So what the Blue Jays need to do to make the Final Four, number one, is watch out for Dover's athleticism. I think Dover wins this game, but Dover's athleticism is on par with Seaford, even if they don't have the experience that Seaford does as of right now. Jaheim Harrell is the senior with the most experience. Denham Perkins also. So Dover has 2 guys that have been there before. A lot of the younger players are still trying to get acclimated to this whole state tournament thing, but Dover has the talent to make it hard on Seaford. Absolutely does. That should be an interesting second round matchup. Lastly, in our first round, number 16, Conrad. This is when they won at Diamond State. I believe it was their first conference championship of any time since they won Flight A. I want to say it was either 69 or 70, I think. I have to go back and check. I know there may be a Conrad person that can update me on this, but yeah, this was their first conference championship. Well, they were in a high school for 40 years, so I mean that's part of the equation. But Conrad, of course, has junior Jalen Horsey, senior Kelsey Epps, freshman guard Latrell Wright. They're a team led by head coach Chris McClain that could do some damage, but they'll have to get past the team that they actually beat by 20 in the regular season, Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant has a lot of talent. They have size too. Darnell Lloyd, 6'8". He's listed at 6'8", but the boy actually looks 6'10", honestly. So he might be actually taller than that. He might have grown during the regular season. But Mount has a lot of talent. They're well coached by Brian Hines. That should be a fun first round matchup. That's probably going to be the first round matchup their First Day Hoops Report is at. Spoiler, they will get number 1 Middletown. Of course, we talked to head coach Aziz Ali, and his guys are focused on the task at hand. Of course, they were the 8 seed last year, and they got ambushed by Dover in the second round. I don't think they'll be ambushed this time around. Conrad or Mount could make that game difficult at first, but Middletown has just about everything you would want in a potential state championship contender. Forgot to mention that the winner of Caravel Cape gets number 8 Sanford, the independent conference champion, and Ty Perry has that team playing Ty Perry style of basketball. Like, they have pretty much adopted his personality. Key for Sanford is that they got Chris Stanford back. It's always good to have size in the lineup because Chris is 6'6", but when you have a guy who can make outside shots like we saw when he hit the winner against Tower Hill about 3 weeks ago, that's gonna cause matchup problems. And of course, you have Tommy Vaughn Jr., Dayon Polk, Jordan Spencer, who can light it up from the outside. Sean Forrest, their senior leader. Sanford's gonna be a tough out. That Middletown Sanford quarter, DIAA. I know I just said some not nice things about y'all earlier, but I'm gonna say something nice about y'all now. If you make the quarterfinals on Saturday staggered so that we can get to 2 games, y'all be good money. I promise. And that pretty much wraps up this preview of the tournament. Let me see. Do we have anybody else coming in? I don't think we have anyone else coming in. So 30 minutes of this was enough. Like I said, hold on 1 second. Yeah, Mike in the chat says Conrad beat up on Mount in the regular season. They really did. I was surprised to see that score, quite honestly, because I thought Mount had the talent. And I knew Conrad was pretty good, but I didn't know they were 20 points better than Mount good. Maybe Mount just had an off night. That's going to be a very interesting first round matchup. Make no mistake about it. And I think that's going to do it. If I get a chance, I may have I know Coach Lumpkin was he wanted to come on. I guess he's probably at practice right now. I'll reach out to him again, maybe have him on for holding court on Sunday. And once again, I'll preview the tournament on Sunday because I'll be at the Blue Hen Conference Championship games on Saturday. And then I'll have all day Sunday to put together a good tournament preview for the state tournament for the boys and girls. And we'll more than likely get into the unified as well. It's just a matter of scheduling because First Day Hoops Report is one person and you're looking at them. So I can only be, one place at one time. Hopefully in 2023-24, I will have some contributors. That is my goal. I will probably be putting together a plan to reach out to certain entities that can assist me in that process. I think so, Mike. Howard couldn't make a shot against Middletown down at Unlock the Light. That was their undoing. If Howard can make some shots, because they can defend Middletown very well. I mean, who can defend Middletown very well? I mean, that's probably one of the rare feats in the state. But if anybody can do it, it's Howard. So I feel like, if Howard can get some shots and keep Middletown from running, because Middletown got out to I want to say it was either a 9-0 lead or a 12-0 lead down at Unlock the Light. But that could really be a game. That game could be a lot better, and it obviously could be a game that we could see again in the state championship. Not predicting anything. Like I said, I will give y'all all my spoilers, all my keys, all my info, and what I feel the state tournament is going to play out like on Sunday. Because obviously it's Friday. Player. Shouts out to Coach Cooper from Friera checking in. Both teams are deep in town. He's absolutely correct. And I feel like what I mentioned when I asked Coach Trevison and Coach Ali about the talent in Delaware, I said it so many times on episodes of Holding Court, we got to keep the kids home. We have to. There's no reason for some of these kids that are very, very good to say, okay, nothing about Delaware is going to get me seen, so I need to move with relative to New Jersey or Virginia or DC or Maryland or even further out. We got to do a better job of keeping these kids home, and that's probably why I'm so annoyed, quite honestly, with the way things are done here from a administrative perspective, we'll say. And I'll say basketball gets the short end of the stick. It does. Because football gets chances to be seen. Soccer, field hockey, lacrosse. I mean, for crying out loud, there are, state tournament games for lacrosse being played at Chase Fieldhouse. Same for field hockey. Like, basketball gets the short end of the stick. And I think we can all sort of, understand why or figure out why that's the reason. But, you get caught. I mean, people take offense to, certain illusions and attributions and things of that nature. So we'll let that sleeping dog lie for the moment. But basketball definitely gets the short end of the stick in Delaware, and I'll never understand why, because Delaware kids can look and see that if you are good enough, you can play college basketball at a high level or at any level and get your college partially paid for, and you can make it to the highest level. We have Bones Highland with the LA Clippers. Shouts out to St. George's Tech. Dante DiVincenzo of the Golden State Warriors. Are they still the Golden? Yeah, they're still the Golden State Warriors. They just play in San Francisco now. Shouts out to Salesiana. We have Elena Deladon, one of the legends of this generation of women's basketball, with the Washington Mystics. We have Benijah Laney, another great Delaware girls basketball player. Shouts out to Smyrna High. She's with the New York Liberty right now. So we have two players in the NBA, two players in the WNBA. Every one of them played every minute of their high school basketball right here in the 302. So why? Why can't we do a better job of keeping the kids home? This tournament is going to be reflective of so much talent, from Lewis to Claymont to Newark to Middletown to Dover, East Side, West Side, North Side, Southbridge, Browntown, Route 40. There are so many talented kids playing basketball in Delaware, and that's the drum I've been banging since 2019, since I started this project, and it's going to be the drum that I keep banging until I finally decide that I've had enough. And I don't think I've had enough yet. I've had too much fun. I've had too much fun with the kids, the coaches, the ADs, the parents. Like, this First State Hoops Report thing, it goes because y'all make it go. Y'all show love. Y'all show up. Y'all say, hey, Chris, keep up the good work. Hey, I watched your podcast. Hey, I did this. Hey, I did that. Just keep doing what you're doing. That keeps me going. And I'm eternally grateful for that. And I'm thankful that people show up. I'm thankful for people that, share our links, share our content. And again, I'm just one person doing this. Like, I have a day job. I can't be, this isn't, the thing that makes me go. This isn't the thing that pays my rent, we'll say. It doesn't pay my rent. So this is definitely something out of the, the love of the game of basketball here in Delaware. And we've got so many talented kids, and we would be doing a disservice as media, quite frankly, to not showcase them. Thanks, Coach Cooper. Greatly appreciate it. Yes, Bob. Yes, Mike. They are at the Bob. Wish the quarters were at the Bob too, because that would make more sense because we have quarterfinals on Saturday and Sunday. But I'm not in charge. I'm just the media guy. I'm just the media guy. I've already worn out my welcome with DIAA on Twitter today, so I'm just gonna drink my water and mind my business. But yeah, there's so much talent in Delaware now that we don't have to watch a girl that is playing at a public school end up at like Roman Cat one of the like DeMatha or Elizabeth Seton. Elizabeth Seton is the school I'm thinking of in the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference. Somewhere down there. We don't have to watch a boy go play. Well, I mean, we could go watch a boy that played here in Delaware thrive at the Roman Catholic level. Two of them, actually. Shouts out to Rob Wright III and Jeremiah Stewart Herring, who was one of my favorite kids to watch last year. He's tearing it up there. Like, he's probably played himself into a D1 scholarship. He was a D1 scholarship athlete anyway when he was playing in St. Elizabeth's. But he felt like the competition wasn't up to his par, and he's proven himself. Like, he bet on himself. We tell kids all the time that, when you put in the work, the results will show. And if you believe in yourself and you bet on yourself, that's the best gift you can give yourself. And that's not just a basketball standpoint. That's a life standpoint. Like, when you just say on yourself, yes, Mike, bet on yourself and double down. Bet on yourself and double down because you know yourself better than anybody else. You know what you are capable of. You know your talent. You know your skill. You know what you can achieve. You know what your dreams are. Go for them. That's what life is all about. That's not just for basketball. That's just a life lesson. I'm not going to preach too much today because it's not Sunday, but I'm going to get out of y'all's hair. I've talked for 41 minutes, and that's quite frankly 41 minutes enough. Thank y'all for watching the Holding Court live stream. It's our first one. Hopefully we got some views. Hopefully we got some people who enjoyed the show. Once again, Holding Court, the First State Hoops Report YouTube vlog. The tournament preview show will be on Sunday, February 26th. Haven't figured out a time yet. I'll probably just post it when I'm done. So thank y'all for watching. Hope to see y'all in the gyms, and good luck to everybody in the tournament. Peace out.